Today is Monday, and the sun is out now, which is unexpected because the weather report was calling for like severe thunderstorms with hail, and this morning was really dreary. I wasn't able to go for my normal morning walk. I had to postpone it for a couple hours, but even when I did go, it was still a little overcast and drizzly out.
When I woke up, I heard the rain pounding outside and John was gone, and I was like, ooh, did he get caught running in the rain?
Well, I got up and I got dressed, and when I stepped outside, it was like kind of that misty rain. I go, well, I can live with that for rain, for running. I drove down to the track, and then it was like pouring. It's like, all right, time to turn around and go home. But I did go out and I did get my run in. It was around 9 in the morning, and I really need to shave. I'm getting, and my hair's a mess. So I gotta wear my yard sailing hat. I'm a wreck. I gotta get all freshened up here. But we're on our way to the movie theater because we're gonna go see X-Men Apocalypse is the title of this one.
We were just talking about how we know nothing about this movie.
It kind of snuck up on us.
Yeah, I don't even think we've seen a trailer for it. So
I don't think so. I'm sure there's one out there, but yeah. If we saw it, it didn't make much of an impact on me. But it was just like, it just popped up. It snuck up on us like, oh, there's a new X-Men movie.
Well,
I like X-Men movies. Ben likes X-Men movies. Let's go. Obviously the movie theater that we've been so excited about reopening hasn't opened yet. Rumor has it that it's supposed to open up at the end of July. In the meantime, we have to drive all the way to Auburn, which is like a half hour away. But that's okay. Teagan's at Grandma and Grandpa's. We're gonna have some X-Men excitement. It doesn't start till 3:20. It's only 2 p.m. now, so we'll probably have to kill some time at Big Lots. Sorry, I have to look at my whiskery face.
You're being very, very self-conscious about your shaved, non-shaved face today.
So we're back. This is actually the next day.
Yeah.
After we see a movie, we kind of have to let it digest a little bit, unless it's like awful, and we can just say, oh my gosh,
that was bad.
But this was not bad. I enjoyed it very, very much.
Yeah.
I did not enjoy it as much as Captain America Civil War, but that's not a fair comparison.
No, it's not.
Because that movie was so good, and this movie...
It was good.
It was very good.
It was an X-Men movie. You know, it followed right along with all of the other X-Men movies that have come out. More
along the lines of the previous two, First Class and
the ones,
Days of Future Past.
Yeah, the ones that are like the prequels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one took place in the 80s.
Yes.
Like the last one took place in the 70s. And they crammed a lot of stuff.
There was a lot of fighting.
Into 2.5 hours.
Yeah, they did.
But if there's anything that you like about X-Men, it more or less makes an appearance in this movie.
Somehow. Yeah, definitely.
They managed to cram in everything. And just when you think a certain character or characters aren't going to show up, like, oh, there they are. And there they go.
They did. I think they did a good job.
Probably the only thing I was a little disappointed at, but this is something they can probably rectify in the next movie, which they do set up at the end credits. At the very end of the end credits, they do set up what's coming soon. But I thought Storm was very underutilized in this movie.
Yeah.
They introduced her and it's like, oh yeah, we're gonna get some Storm. And Storm basically like spends most of the movie like hiding like this. But
she's still, you know, she's still a kid. They haven't developed her into an X-Men fighter. You know, they are showing her origin story basically in this movie. So you can't expect her to be all whoosh, you know, taking over the world with her storminess.
And there's like parts I want to talk about, but
we don't want to give anything away.
Oh my gosh, there's the part with there are two big moments, and I'm sure Ben knows what two I'm talking about that I want to talk about, but they'd be kind of spoilery, so I can't talk. Maybe a year from now, when the next X-Men movie
comes out.
Or 2 years from now when the next X-Men movie comes out.
Then we can talk about it.
Yeah, then it'll be safe. The spoiler limit will be lifted. So anyway, thumbs up to X-Men Ninja Turtles comes out at the end of the week.
Yeah.
And I'm excited for that because it's going to have Bebop, Rocksteady, and Krang. They're
It's gonna be pretty cool.
They're going old school. Like, if there were complaints about the last... I think they heard the complaints about the last one, about, oh, that's not the Ninja Turtles we knew. So it seems like this time they're like, okay, we're gonna throw in Casey Jones, we're gonna throw in Bebop, Rocksteady, and Krang.
Yeah, here you go. Here's everybody.
We're going old school. So that's very exciting. I haven't even seen a trailer for that, I don't think. I saw the teaser.
We saw a teaser, but that's it.
Yeah, where you got like little glimpses of Bebop and Rocksteady. I know what they look like because I've seen the toys.
Right.
I'm curious how they're going to handle Krang. Is it going to be like on the original cartoon where it's just one Krang? Or is it going to be like in the new Ninja Turtles on Nickelodeon where it's like multiple Krangs?
Probably one.
You think one Krang?
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm curious how they're going to get it all to squeeze together in one movie.
I'm sure they have a plan.
And then in a couple more weeks, we got Finding Dory. Our movie theater needs to open soon, so we don't have to make the trip every...
I know. It takes a half an hour to get to the movie theater that we have to see at now, and we want to go to the movies all the time, but we want it closer. We have a lot of wants.
And one more thing, we saw a trailer for... It's only 20 years after the fact, but the sequel to Independence Day. Independence Day is a movie I remember from the 90s, and I'm sure Ben does too. It was big. It was huge.
Huge movie.
It was huge, and I think it kind of like, that was like one of the ones that made, I don't know, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems to me like that was one of the first like big summer movies, event movies. Like maybe that or Jurassic Park. I don't know. But
it was definitely one of the biggest summer event movies in our lifetimes.
And especially one that cemented the fact that like, okay, summer movies are going to be like stuff blowing up and aliens and dinosaurs and superheroes.
Exactly.
Sort of thing. But
we have some disappointments. My first disappointment is that it's not being released on July 4th.
It says Independence Day Resurgence, July 24th. It's
June
like
24th.
June 24th.
Yeah.
I thought it was July 24th.
No, June.
Okay, well, at least it's getting a jump start on the 4th of July.
It needs to come out on the 4th of July. That was the whole gimmick of it the first time, was Independence Day in theaters, July 4th.
My biggest concern, this isn't really a spoiler because they mentioned it in the trailer.
Yeah, it's not a
spoiler.
But
my biggest concern is the first movie, the first Independence Day, Will Smith basically made that whole movie.
Yeah, he did.
And in this one, Will Smith is apparently passed away. That's the impression I got from the trailer.
Yeah.
We see his wife and his kid from the first movie.
It looks like his son is going to be like the star of this one.
Not Will Smith's actual son, but Will Smith's character's son.
Yeah.
But so it seems
there's
like
a lot of reoccurring characters, though.
Oh yeah, they brought back.
It looks like everybody's there except for Will Smith himself.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it looks like they brought back everybody. They brought back Jeff Goldblum. Yeah. They even brought back his dad. I didn't know he was still alive. Jeff Goldblum's character's dad. I keep referring to their characters as the actors' names. And let's see what else. The president.
Yep, the president comes back.
And even the character, you know that scientist in the first one, I mentioned this to Ben. The scientist with the long hair, the crazy looking scientist with the long hair and the glasses. Now, it's been a while since I've seen Independence Day. But this is how I remember how he ultimately ended up. Like, he was in, like, this glass room with an alien. Ben will be the alien. Then the alien, like, shot tentacles or something and pressed him up against the glass like this. And then he was like, blah, 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 blah. And then I assumed he died. You didn't see him the rest of the movie.
Apparently not.
Apparently not. He was in the trailer. Back. Unless it's, like, his twin brother or, like, his son who looks exactly like him.
Possibilities.
I don't know. So, I think I'd be a lot more excited for it if they got Will Smith back. And just completed the package.
He must have been asking for too much money, I guess.
Probably.
Which is a bummer, because it would have been awesome to have him back. Then they would have had, like, the whole cast.
Like, I'm sure we'll see it. I don't know if it's going to be like we got to go out and see that as soon as possible type thing. But, you know, for nostalgia's sake, I think it's probably going to be worth seeing. I'm sure it's going to be totally, I don't want to say stupid. I mean, stupid in a good way. I mean, they showed the aliens, like, dancing in their cages. It's like, they're going like, rah, 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 rah. and they go, what are they doing? Are they scared of something? It's like, no, they're celebrating. They're all the motherships coming back to blow up stuff.
I didn't even I remember that part of the trailer, but I didn't even
They weren't doing.
look how they were dancing.
They were
what did I miss?
They were happy aliens.
Woo, woo.
That's how I remember it. If that happened that way, I totally would be buying a ticket right now. I'd be camping out. Dance party music playing. What are the aliens doing? Are they scared?
Oh my goodness. No.
Oh. Well, there we go. Oh, and I was curious. Any of you guys seen the new Alice in Wonderland, the sequel, the Through the Looking Glass one? How is it? I want to know. I'm curious. I didn't care for the first one. I actually fell asleep. Mm-hmm. And we saw it in 3D, and I still fell asleep.
Yeah, he did.
In the first one, I don't know.
Maybe he doesn't really care for it.
Maybe it was just so dreamlike that I just kind of drifted off. I don't know, but I'm curious if the second one improved. Because I know the second one doesn't have Tim Burton's involvement. His name's on the title, but he didn't direct it this time.
That's interesting.
So I'm just curious how it was. So I guess that wraps up our meandering movie review.
Yeah, that was a long review of a movie that ended up going into 15 other movies.
I think we reviewed the trailer for Independence Day 2 longer than we reviewed X-Men. It's just because I don't want to spoil anything for anybody who might, because it's so new. I don't want to spoil anything. Mm-hmm. I'm sure we'll still get comments like, no spoilers!
But we didn't!
Alright, we'll see you next time, everybody.
Bye!